You may have struggled with addiction. It's a great quest for happiness and fulfillment. It's under the misunderstanding that the happiness that you seek can be found in the material world. Might be drugs, might be speed, racing, might be jumping off cliffs, the thrill of the exhilaration, might be alcohol, smoking. Eating's a favourite with the population. More deaths caused through eating than anything else. Especially eating the wrong things, but also too much of anything is not good. You see, it's that lasting pleasure doesn't come from the material world. Some people are addicted to hobbies. They make things that no real blessing to anyone. Just an attic full of curios that they've made. And the odd person comes and sees them and says, "Wow, fancy making that? Amazing. That marvellous." Then they have tea and biscuits, which are far more important to them. But some women spend all their time cooking, killing the family, making murderous stuff that's digested in huge quantities, shortens the life of everyone in the house, and brings some of the most awful diseases. None of these people do harm deliberately, nor do they deliberately do things that don't benefit others. They're seeking happiness, life, abundant life, life eternal if they knew where it was. But they don't. And they're not convinced that it's an option down that street that's suggested to them by even their religions. So they carry on until the evidence to them is overwhelming. And all you can say is, when they leave this life, they're convinced that they wish they hadn't been addicted to ... whatever it was. Perhaps it was arguing people, perhaps it was just being angry, perhaps it was just being critical, perhaps it was just gossip. It's not just women, but some women do have an astonishing ability to gossip and talk endlessly. The Buddhists claim that gossip is one of the worst sins. They don't call it sin, of course, but it's not that it's major in itself, but cumulatively it's more damaging than anything else mankind. So, what can we say? Well, there's a great need in people to realise that joy and happiness, health, vitality, hope and optimism, peace and well-being doesn't come from material pleasures and activities, or the owning of vast quantities of things. And when you realize that, you're not enslaved by a job that offers the possibility of you owning such. You can stop and experience the fullness of the creation, the loveliness of the world, the peace and friendship. I met a lovely lady today. She is a nurse, RN, is it? Psychiatric ward she's on. 2 kids. Husband's a nurse too. They can't work at the same time, of course. One has to be at home when the kids are, look after the kids. So they, one in, one out. They're not home together much at all. She's worked to death. Says it's worth it for the children. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but that's not what they want. They want and need your company, love. I didn't risk telling her. She's doing what she understands to be best. She won't listen to a stranger, even if he's quite a nice chap, friendly, helpful. But I would like her to know that the kids just love her. Better not to own. I bet they're working like mad to own our property. And a decent car, and possibly 2, I don't know. But perhaps just 1. Tragic waste. I'm sure the kids just want mum. Instead, people park their kids in some form of daycare, and whether it's the school or the kindy or whatever, and they lose this treasured experience of loving their own kids in practice, not just in their mind, but in reality, doing it, living it. There you go. Is having kids and looking after them the path to eternal happiness? Can be. Can be. You learn a lot from loving and caring for people, and how much more loving and caring for kids that can't give back. They give back in nice ways. They appreciate you. That's just wonderful. But if you work to death, can't give them time, and your marriage goes to pieces, well, it's not the path to life eternal for anyone, is it? Abundant life. Simplify, drastically simplify. Don't just go with the flow. Simplify your life. Delight in pleasures that cost just about nothing at all. Loving and caring and playing and talking and being with. Bless you. Oh, I started with addictions, didn't I? Well, the cure for addictions is very straightforward. Understand what the end product is. Is it death? Is it painful illness? Is it people no longer love you? Is it that people despise you and look down on you because of, I don't know, your appearance or your inability to communicate or your simple, overwhelming negativity as a consequence of your addiction? Anticipate the cost, and you will avoid the bad future. It will solve itself. The fear, the naked fear of what it's going to cause you will stop you in your addiction. That's one way. It's quite a hard way. It's a very hard way. And many people try it unsuccessfully. It takes a lot to pull it off. A much simpler way is whatsoever's good and lovely, think on these things. Fanatically, habitually, like you've never been addicted to anything else before. You will find your assurance and your hope grows, your peace and your joy. You will be a blessing to others. Your wisdom will increase, your empathy and kindness, and your desire to forgive and give. You will be loved, loving and blessed, and your addictions will vanish. It's as simple as that. Taste and see whatsoever's good and lovely. Think on these things, and you'll have life eternal, life abundant, love and joy, all blessing, and you'll come to know God, your God, for real, and have life eternal. It's as simple as that. Thank you, Dad.